is Lady D from NYC, coming to you with accountability. Well, it's March now, and the beginning of the year seems to be flying past us, and I'm sure some of us are looking up and saying, well, spring's on the way, and I better start getting it together. Let me lose some weight, get a makeover, maybe get some new outfits, package myself up all nice and pretty so that I can go out and trap me a man. Today's episode is entitled, You're Waiting on Boaz, but are you a Ruth? I said you're waiting on Boaz, but are you a Ruth? Ruth was a woman of substance. A lot of us women are laying around in the churches today screaming and hollering about how you're waiting on Boaz. Waiting. A lot of you are going to keep waiting. I'm going to tell you why. Like I said, Ruth was a woman of substance. Ruth, her mother-in-law, and her sister-in-law ended up in a pretty, dismal situation. All three of the men had died. All of these women lost their husbands. And the mother-in-law, Naomi, her spirit was broken. She had lost her husband, her sons, and she told the daughter-in-laws, you guys are going back home because I can't do nothing for you, and I'm going to go back home too. And as we know, Ruth opted to go with her mother-in-law. Well, when the ladies get back to her mother-in-law's hometown, they got to do something to survive. Ruth did not run up and down trying to catch a man to take care of her. That is not what she did. She got up off her rusty and she went out and worked and found means and provided and helped her mother-in-law. Provided for her mother-in-law and helped her out. That's the kind of spirit this woman had. She was not just beautiful. She had a brain. And she used it. And she was industrious. She brought something to the table. She was a total package. She didn't chase nobody up and down. And when she ended up gleaning in Boaz's fields, he noticed her. Take note, ladies. He noticed her. And he didn't go chasing her down right away either. He provided for her. He did it secretly. He did it quietly. But he covered her. He told the young men that worked for him, they better keep their hands off and just keep an eye on her and keep her safe. He told the young men that worked for him, leave extra grain and meal out there for her to get. He covered her. Not only did he cover her, he paid attention. Boaz investigated Ruth. After he took notice, he checked her out. He asked some questions. He gathered some information. Ladies, if the gentleman is not investigating you, there's only one thing he wants from you. Just one thing. Not only that, Ruth showed her demonstration. She demonstrated to Boaz just what she was about and what she brought to the table. She brought something to the table. See, ladies, you like to lay around talking about how he's got to have this kind of car, and he's got to have this kind of job, and he's got to have this, and he's got to have that. What you got? Yeah, I said what you got. That's exactly what I said. And it's not about all this stuff, but it sure is about substance and spirit. You want all these things, but you're not willing to bring anything to the table? That's ridiculous. Some of you think that you can get by in life on pretty. I live in New York City. I'm a very pretty New York City girl. And pretty women are a dime a dozen on the planet worldwide. You got to have a whole lot more than pretty, ladies. You're going to rely on that? That's it? That's all you got? I don't blame some of these men for how they look at us sometimes, the way some of you women behave. And I'm going to tell you what, Don't get me wrong with what I'm about to say. Don't come sending me emails and complaining. But some of us want to do nothing more than sit in the hairstylist all day Saturday, hair, nails, all of that, and you got nothing else to bring to the table. That's just crazy business. Look at Ruth, industrious. She got out there and did what she needed to do. She didn't lay around moaning and groaning about nobody, and she sure wasn't packaging herself up, trying to chase down some man while she was out there working in the fields. That is not what she did. And once Boaz took notice and started covering her secretly, taking care of her, she went in and started to cover him. How do I know? Because the story says that he, Boaz, slept in the place where he kept his grain. And eventually she went in there and slept in there with him. No funny business going on, says she slept at his feet. He slept there to protect his property. Because back in the days of the judges, there were roaming gangs. They went around roaming and looting. That's what they did. So he was protecting his property. She sat up in there with him and helped him protect. By doing so, she demonstrated something that she was willing to bring to the table. She had his back, and by sleeping in there with him, she let him know up front, I am willing to provide you intimacy. Ladies, men need self-assurance as well. They need encouragement as well. You can't just suck somebody dry and expect it to last and expect it to work out. Sitting around moaning and groaning, but you don't want to bring nothing to the table? It's crazy. Not only that, and I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this because I'm a woman. Some of us are just plain mean. Angry, mean, bitter. You don't need to even consider getting into a relationship until you allow the past hurts to go into the past and heal. You don't need to do that. I made that mistake. I made that mistake a couple of times. Came out of the bad marriage years ago. Thought I would try dating. But when you're carrying stuff in your spirit that ain't right, it radiates out of you. You cannot be angry and bitter and mean and think you're going to keep somebody around. Learn how to be sweet, kind, be real, be nice. I've seen women talk to men like they're garbage. Come on, somebody. And then when somebody takes that man, you're all upset, and then you're more angry and more bitter. You're looking for Boaz. You're waiting for Boaz. But are you a Ruth? You need to ask yourself that question and be real with the answer and then fix the problem. This is Lady D from NYC coming to you with accountability.